From the line across the ocean.
Good evening. This is ATN Global News at 9 p.m. First, the headlines. Navy dismantles 9 illegal refining sites in rivers. JAM admits to errors in 2025 UTME. Tinubu approves establishment of forest guards. CBN launches non-resident BVN for Nigerians in diaspora. Mali military junta dissolves political parties. West Ham moved to sign Onyedika from Club Brugge, and Chimamanda to headline 2025 Things Fall Apart Festival.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human trafficking.
Honourable
You understand.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused.
Welcome back. Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder has dismantled 9 illegal refining sites in the Ogba Egbima and Indoni local government area of Rivers State as part of ongoing efforts to curb crude oil theft and illegal bunkering activities. The operation uncovered 45 ovens, 30 reservoirs and 75 dugout pits, which contain an estimated 60,000 liters of stolen crude oil and 80,000 liters of suspected illegally refined automotive gas oil, AGO. This was revealed in a statement signed by the commander of NNS Pathfinder, Commodore Kajetan Nabuchi Anyaku. According to Anyaku, the operation conducted on May 12, 2025 also led to the destruction of 33,000 liters of kerosene. He said the tactical riverine assault squadron team discovered 2 wellheads that had been technically connected with pipelines believed to be used by oil thieves to siphon crude oil into their camps. Anyaku noted that the seized products were handled in accordance with standard anti-crude oil theft protocols. He added that no arrests were made as the suspects fled on site in the approaching naval team. He praised the courage and professionalism of his personnel and reaffirmed the Nigerian Navy's resolve under the leadership of Vice Admiral E.I. Ogala to tackle crude oil theft and illegal bunkering activities he described as serious threats to the nation's economy and energy security. Administrator of LMA local government area of Rivers State, Dr. Gloria Obo Dibia, on Wednesday, 14th of May, 2025, went on a tour to some of the state primary and secondary schools within the local government area. ATN News completes the report.
Administrator of LMA Local Government Area of Rivers State, Dr. Gloria Obodibia, has continued in accomplishing the 7-point agenda of the Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Ebok Ebas, by visiting the state government primary and secondary schools within the LMA LGA to ascertain the deplorable nature and level of damage done by vandals to the schools. Some of the schools visited includes Community Secondary School Aboncha, Community Secondary School Aleto, State Primary School Apajo, Community Secondary School Alessa, State School 1 and 2 Alessa, Community Girls Secondary School Alode. Others include Community Secondary School Etio, Community Junior Secondary School Abeta One, Community Secondary School Ebubu, and State School 1 and 2 Ogale, all LMA local government area of Rivers State. The structures of these schools are dilapidated, destroyed, and vandalized by hoodlums. The schools were without chairs, windows, roof, doors, no learning materials, and no security checks. Addressing the media during the tour, the LMA administrator, Dr. Gloria Obodibia, expressed sadness over the deplorable nature of the state government schools, saying that urgent and proper attention will be given to ensure a more conducive learning environment for the students.
So today we decided to go on tour of the schools in the local government area based on the 7-point agenda that we have from the administrator, retired Admiral Ebas. Education, as we know, means a lot. And today we decided we'll just do the primary schools and the secondary schools, junior, senior, whatever. I grew up here in Eleme. I went to Alessa Primary School. And the Alessa Primary School that we visited today in 2025 looks worse, way worse than it was in the 70s when I went to primary school. So that is truly heartbreaking for me. The state of infrastructure is just deplorable, extremely bad. We saw kids sitting on the floor to learn, and I don't know how any child can actually assimilate the way they're supposed to, sitting on the floor in those conditions. The classrooms have very poor ventilation. You know, you could smell the sweat from the kids, even though they were far away. There are no fans, no light, no windows, no protectors in some of them. Grass is overgrown in so many of the schools. And many of the principals we spoke to and the headmasters or headmistresses have told us that they have written letters and they have made requests and complaints to the Board of Education or Educational Management Board and still haven't heard anything. So we will try to escalate this from everything we have seen and see what comes out of that. At least that's the part we know we can do to try to escalate what they are already working on and hope to get some results. so that we can begin to see some positive change with the educational system in the 11 local government area.
After the tour of the state government schools, the administrator also had a brief meeting with the management and heads of schools where she commended them for their efforts and dedication to work. She also charged them to do more.
I did speak to, or we did speak to many of the heads of the schools, and the one question I kept asking, what have you done? Whom have you spoken to? And the answer was the same. We have written letters, we have tried to make contacts, and we are told something will be done, and nothing has been done. Now, this is Element local government area. And I see right in front of me there, it says education for all is the responsibility of all. So I know you'll be interested to hear things like this, to see even video clips from meetings like this. So this is a very brief one. We're not going to make it a long speaking event or meeting, but we've seen what we saw. And those who are not on the tour with us, it's in your different schools, you have your different issues. So first, I just want to say thank you again for what you do, even in these very poor conditions, because the service should be better, but they're not. And I still thank you.
Stakeholders who were part of the inspection tour also called on government to do more by improving education in Eleme LGA.
The outcome of what we saw was very appalling. It's a sorry sight, and it requires drastic attention. If we really need to encourage these children to go to school, to learn, and actually be the future leaders of tomorrow, as we are claiming, we need to get down to work. Most of the schools have been vandalized, no security, a lot to be done. A lot has to be done. I pray that the government should give the educational sector the sense of urgency that it requires right now as at ASAP. So a lot has been discovered, and we have taken notes, action points, things that we will take back to the sole administrator as a feedback from this our tour, and we pray that the correctional actions start immediately.
Earlier, some principals and heads of schools expressed joy for the visit of the administrator to their schools and called for speedy action towards securing the government schools.
I want to say a big thank you to our sole administrator who took the pains by taking us through all the schools within the Eleme community.
The sole administrator of this noble LGA decided to visit us. So I'm grateful to God. Our challenges here is that we don't have enough teachers, including the cleaners. And the top of it all is the security.
I'm so excited, I'm so glad, I'm happy that the sole administrator have visited my school, which shows that the school is one of the existing schools in Eleme.
Ajurun was Samuel, ATM News, Port Harcourt.
River State Police Command has confirmed the fatal motor accident that occurred on May 12, 2025 along GU Ake Road. In a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Grace Iringekoko, it was disclosed that a 36-year-old man, Benson Peter Michael, lost control of the Toyota Camry and struck 6 pedestrians. The driver is currently in police custody and the vehicle has been recovered and taken to the station. SP Iringekoko further stated that the bodies of the deceased have been deposited at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital mortuary. The case is expected to be handed over to the State Department for further investigation. The command expressed deep regret over the tragic incident and assured the public that a thorough investigation will be conducted and justice served. Cross River State Governor Basi Otu has officially inaugurated the Cross River State Diaspora Commission to engage Cross Riverians abroad in state policies and development projects. Speaking during the inauguration in his office in Calabar, Otu emphasized the critical role the commission will play across the global diaspora community. The commission is expected to serve as a bridge between the government and cross-riverians in the diaspora, fostering investment, cultural exchange, and strategic partnerships that contribute to the state's development. The commission's mandate also includes fostering unity among cross-riverians abroad, facilitating developmental initiatives, and serving as a strategic arm for foreign relations and investment. In his response, the chairman of the Cross River State Diaspora Commission, Otu Esu Oko, described the appointment as an honorable call to serve. People's Democratic Party on Wednesday nominated Mr. Eugene Inegbegbo, PDP, Ugweben, as the new minority whip of the Edo State House of Assembly. His nomination came following the defection of the former minority whip, Mr. Yekini Idiaye Akoko Edo 1, to the All Progressives Congress. At the plenary in Benin, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Blessing Agbe Baku, read a letter from the state PDP chairman, Dr. Anthony Aziegbemi, officially nominating Inegbebo for the position. The announcement, however, triggered a rowdy session after Mr. Ade Isibo, APC Northeast 1, challenged the legitimacy of the nomination, claiming that Azegbemi's chairmanship was being contested in court. His objection was quickly countered by other lawmakers, including minority leader Charity Aigyo Baruegian, who described Isibo's claim as misleading. Agbebaku intervened to calm the situation, stating that the House had no authority over internal party matters and urged members to let the issue rest. Meanwhile, the House also passed a bill to establish the Edo State Public-Private Partnership Agency aimed at enhancing infrastructural development across the state. Part of its civil military cooperation initiatives, the 302 Artillery Regiment, General Support and 14th Field Engineer Regiment have carried out a major sanitation exercise across selected communities in the Onitsha South local government area of Anambra State. The cleanup exercise led by the commander of the regiment, Colonel Adamu Muhammad, on Wednesday focused on clearing refuse dumps and unblocking drainage systems to promote a healthier environment and reduce the risk of flooding during the rainy season. The exercise spanned 11 neighborhoods in the Anambra commercial city, Onitsha, including Mbonu Ojike Street, Fege, Nimo Street, Bishop Shanahan, Sheba Street, Yahaya Street, and Uzodima Street, among others. Speaking during the flagging off of the exercise, Colonel Muhammad emphasized the importance of maintaining a clean environment, particularly during the rainy season. He said, this initiative is part of the Nigerian Army's effort to give back to the communities that support its operations. The initiative was warmly received by community members who praised the military's proactive approach to community service. Under State Security Network Agency, also known as Amotekun Corps, has rescued 5 persons from the den of kidnappers in the forest in the state. According to the Corps, the victims were rescued without a payment of ransom. Speaking on the development on Wednesday, the commander of the Amotekun Corps, Adetunji Adeleye, said the victims' family members had been seeking 150 million ransom for their release, but the Corps ensured that the money was not paid before his men rescued them in the bush. The Amotekun commander explained that 4 of the victims were kidnapped along the Ore-Ijebu-Ode Expressway in Odigbo local government area of the state, while 1 other victim was rescued around Ifon Forest 5 days after he was abducted at his residence in Upemen community along Owo Ikare Road in Owo local government. While urging residents of the state to always provide timely security information to the Corps, Adeleye disclosed that Amotekun Rangers had been deployed into all the major forests and locations in the state to curb criminality. He disclosed that over 12 armed robbery and kidnapping cases had been foiled by officials of the Rangers in the state, particularly the Ondo-Ogun state boundary. Oyo State government has approved the sum of 4.5 billion naira as financial support to the survivors and victims of the Bodija explosion, which occurred on January 16, 2024. This decision was taken at the State Executive Council meeting held at the Governor's office on Wednesday, as Governor Seyi Makinde had on Wednesday 2024 inaugurated the 10-man committee headed by the State Deputy Governor Bayo Lawal to oversee the management and disbursement of relief funds to those who lost property to the explosion. No fewer than 5 people died in the January 16, 2024 explosion caused by a water gel-type based explosive triggered by an electric spark at house number 8 Aderinola Street, rented by one Mahmoud Kamara, a Malian engaged in mining and storing explosives in the house. The incident also saw 78 persons sustain injuries, 335 persons affected, 58 houses damaged, including 16 companies or business operators, churches, mosques, 3 schools, as well as the University College Hospital. According to the Commissioner for Information, Dotun Oyelade, in Wednesday's statement, this is apart from the over 200 million naira that the government had expended on accommodation, feeding, hospital and security bills following the tragic incident. Also, the council approved the recommendation of the 10-man committee to revoke the title of 2 properties off Adeyi Avenue, scene of the explosion, in the overall interest of the public, and that the government should build a monument on the location of the revoked land in memory of the victims of the tragedy. Lagos State government has said it is working to introduce monthly and quarterly rent payment option as part of efforts to reduce the financial pressure on residents, especially low-income owners. The State's Commissioner for Housing, Moruf Akinderu Fatai, disclosed this on during the 2025 ministerial press briefing to mark Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's second year in office. Akinderu Fatai said the planned policy is a continuation of the state's drive to make housing more accessible and affordable. He recalled the government's earlier rent-to-own scheme, which allows beneficiaries to make a 5% initial payment and spread the balance over 10 years. He noted that many residents find annual rent payments difficult and that the new system is expected to provide relief. He added that the government is currently consulting with landlords, developers and other stakeholders to resolve potential challenges related to enforcement and payment systems before rolling out the initiative. He revealed that a pilot phase is being planned in selected areas of the state. National Universities Commission has granted Benue State a provisional license to establish a new state university. The Executive Secretary of NUC, Professor Abdullahi Ribadu, presented the license to the state's Deputy Governor Samuel Ode, who represented Governor Hyacinth Alia at the occasion on Wednesday. Ribadu said the institution, Benue State University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, located at Ihug in Badeng Kaya local government area, Benue State, has become the second Benue State-owned university. He said that the new addition brought the number of state-owned universities in the country to 68 and the total universities in Nigeria to 299. The governor, on his part, said the development marked a watershed moment in the state's pursuit of academic excellence. Operatives of the Ilorin Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested 17 suspected internet fraudsters and coordinated sting operations in Ilorin and Ifelodun local government area of the state. A statement by the head media and publicity of the EFCC, Dele Oyewale, made available to the press on Tuesday night, said that the suspects were rounded up at Asadam Al-Hikma University area and Ga Odota areas of Ilorin and Ngamo and Amoyu areas of Ifelodun local government area of the state. The latest arrest came on the heels of that of last week that involved 47 suspects picked up in Ilorin and Ifelodun local government area on the basis of intelligence that exposed their fraudulent internet activities. The statement said that the suspects will be arraigned in court upon the conclusion of investigations. It will be recalled that the Ilorin Zonal Directorate of the EFCC between March and October 2024 arrested a total of 1 and 3 suspected fraudsters in the zone. The Ilorin Zonal Command Office of EFCC covers Kwara, Kogi and Ekiti State, with the zonal headquarters in Ilorin, Kwara State capital. Items recovered from them include 10 exotic cars, 2 motorcycles, 11 laptops, 83 mobile phones and charms. The suspects, all male between the ages of 17 and 34 years, had been arraigned in court. Also on October 30, 2024, EFCC operatives burst the hideout of Yahoo Boys in Offa Metropolis in Offa local government area of Kwara State and arrested 55 suspects. Borno State government has arrested 73 underage children involved in substance abuse. The children were picked up from different locations, including Bulab Bulin, Kasuwa and Gwange Kasan Gada. The Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, which led the exercise, explained that the action was a bold and decisive step to curb the growing menace of drug abuse and involvement of children in unlawful activities on the streets of Maiduguri. The move followed the circulation of a disturbing video on social media showing a young boy barely in his teens openly admitting to abusing drugs. According to a statement from the ministry on Wednesday, many of the children aged between 12 and 15 years were not only abusing substances but also exposed to criminal activities. The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Zuaira Gambo, said the children were successfully taken off the streets and transferred to the Bulum Kutu Rehabilitation Center in Maiduguri. There, they are expected to undergo comprehensive rehabilitation, counseling, and reintegration programs under the care and supervision of the Borno State government. While addressing the children before their relocation, Gambo expressed deep concern over the rising trend of drug use among minors, and stressed that the government would not stand by and watch the future of its youth being destroyed. New sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps in Plateau State, Olajide Mogaji, has launched a sensitization campaign against road crashes in the state as part of the Global Road Safety Week. The campaign, which intensified in Jos on Wednesday and was themed Streets for Life, Make Walking Safe, Make Cycling Safe, saw the sector commander and other officers distributing flyers to all road users on the streets of Jos, including pedestrians, tricycle riders, and motorcyclists. Mogaji was deployed to Plateau State about 2 weeks ago, said the sensitization campaign aims to promote a culture of road safety awareness and responsible behavior among road users. The commander emphasized that the campaign targets not only drivers but also other road users, including pedestrians, tricycle riders, and motorcyclists. He identified several factors contributing to road accidents, including overloading, overspeeding, wrongful overtaking, dangerous driving, and driving under the influence. He appealed to the public to obey road safety rules and regulations, including road signs and markings. The commander urged the public to be mindful of their actions on the road and to make use of available facilities like overhead bridges and zebra crossings. He also emphasized the importance of listening to traffic officers and road safety personnel. The FRSC sector commander assured the public that his team would continue to work towards reducing road crashes to the barest minimum on Plateau State roads. Plateau State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Nicholas Bamlong, has said that the state has recorded 5 cases of cholera, 3 fatalities, and 20 suspected cases. Bamlong on Wednesday in Jos said the confirmed cases were reported in Inyong, Hoti, and Wurit communities in Bokos local government area. According to Bamlong, the State Ministry of Health has activated an incident management system for a comprehensive and multi-sectoral response to the outbreak. He further said that the state epidemiologist had been appointed as the incident manager for cholera outbreak in the state. According to the commissioner, the duties of the incident manager entail overseeing the establishment of oral rehydration centers in affected communities, the establishment of cholera treatment centers and units at the college hospital in Bokos local government area. He called for the evacuation of the suspected cholera cases to the treatment centers. According to him, cholera is an acute diarrhea disease caused by ingesting contaminated food or water with the bacterium Vibrio cholera. The commissioner urged residents of Bokos local government area and surrounding areas to be vigilant and practice good hygiene, and also promptly report any suspected case of cholera to the nearest healthcare facility. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting the health and well-being of all Plateau residents and called on all partners to support this critical response effort. Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force Interpol National Central Bureau Abuja have arrested 2 suspects wanted for investment fraud and cybercrime. The first suspect, a Canadian citizen, Robert Harms, was arrested in connection with the sophisticated investment fraud targeting Tepisin Enterprises, Ikotekpene, Akwa Ibom State. A statement by the force spokesman, Muyiwa Adejobi, disclosed that Harms allegedly misled the firm into investing $210,000 in fictitious Canadian waste-to-energy products after being introduced by a Polaris Bank account officer in June 2023. Adejobi said further investigations revealed Harms had no legitimate ties with the Canadian firm he claimed to represent, VDQ NROG Systems Limited, whose CEO disclaimed any knowledge of him. Harms was arraigned on May 9, 2025 and remanded at Uyo Custodial Center. The case has been adjourned to May 20, 2025. Adejobu said Interpol operatives also rearrested Ms. Okeke Ogechi Injaka, who had been on the run since she jumped administrative bail earlier this year. He said she had been declared wanted since 2021 after distributing nude photos and videos of victims via social media and exchanging in extensive online fraud. National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency on Wednesday shut 21 facilities in the Federal Capital Territory for failing to comply with extant environmental laws. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Assistant Director of Court, Idu, Eastrom Construction, Abuja Map Global Estate, Idu, Ochako Real Homes Limited, Idu Constrict, Idu, Anarok Global Services Limited, Abuja, Quali Trends Nigeria Limited, Abuja, Booked International Limited, and others. The Director General of Nursery and Professor Innocent Bariko stated that the enforcement exercise was carried out to halt the adverse environmental impact of the activities of the facilities. Professor Bariko also stated the construction sector has continued to deviate from the provisions of the National Environmental Construction Sector Regulations 2011 and the Environmental Impact Assessment Act. He added that many of the facilities fail to carry out environmental impact assessment before the commencement of their projects as required by law. Worried over the nonchalant and lackadaisical attitude to duty by some local government workers in the state, Governor Abdullahi Sule warns that strict action will be taken by the Service Commission and the National State Universal Basic Education Board. Governor Sule noted with regret how some local government workers will desert their duty posts and relocate to the city. Sule urged the Local Government Service Commission to ensure the realization of the state government to improve the social economy of people in the rural areas by ensuring local government functions accordingly. Sule also warned all his appointees and elected officers in the state against interfering with the set-out recruitment of new teachers in state. He regretted that the previous recruitment of teachers by the Teachers Service Commission was characterized by fraud, leading to the sack of the chairman of the Teachers Service Commission. Sule announced that another 1,500 teachers will be recruited to fill the space in both primary and secondary schools across the state. Sule disclosed that experts have been hired to carry out the recruitment process to ensure capable teachers are employed to drive the education to achieve his education agenda for the state. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Do stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the world. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATM.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of forest guards and commencement of their employment to secure the 1,129 forests in the country. This was disclosed in a statement by Tinubu's Special Advisor on Media and Public Communication, Sunday Dare, on Wednesday. According to the statement, the president directed that the forest guards are to be well trained and armed to perform their duties, which is essentially to flush out terrorists and criminal gangs hiding inside the forest for criminal activities. This recruitment is a security collaborative effort between the federal and state governments. The Office of the National Security Advisor, NSA, and the Ministry of Environment have been directed to take charge and ensure full implementation. Thousands of young Nigerians are expected to be employed as personnel of the outfit. Recall that Tinubu had warned terrorists that his administration would not surrender an inch of the country's territory to terrorists, bandits, and other criminal gangs operating inside the forest. He vowed that the country would take back its forest. Senate on Wednesday passed a proposed 1.783 trillion naira statutory appropriation bill for the Federal Capital Territory for the 2025 financial year for second reading. President Bola Tinubu formally presented the budget proposal in a letter addressed to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, urging the senators to fast-track its passage to facilitate critical development projects within the FCT. In the letter, which Akpabio read, Tinubu emphasized that the budget presentation complies with Section 299 of the Nigerian Constitution, empowering the President to lay the FCT's budget before the National Assembly. After the debate, senators unanimously passed the bill for second reading and thereafter referred to the Senate Committee on FCT to revert back in 1 week. The bill, according to the Senate, seeks to, among other things, address infrastructure development and job creation, as well as other critical sectors like education, health, agriculture.
That all of us who have lived in this city for quite some time will agree that talking about doing things differently, this is what the current FCT minister is doing. We are seeing more action everywhere, and we all know that you cannot have a beautiful omelette unless you break some nice eggs. So you need budgetary support to sustain the infrastructural development that we have seen. He has done so well, excellently well, and we wish him good luck in whatever he's trying to do to achieve in the FCT. You are all part of this city, and I'm sure Nigerians will remember the very good 2 years he has spent. Over the last 8 years of APC from 2015 to 2023, we have not seen any development, but the man has come and has conquered. Personality, Mr. President, borrowed from our own party to come and give the best. Mr. President, you also recalled, you are also a product of our party, and you are doing very, very, very well. And that is what PDP is all about. And I'm doing that considering what I can describe as total infrastructural transformation that is ongoing in FCT today. It therefore requires the cooperation of the Parliament to enable the Honorable Minister, Yeson Wike, to continue his good works.
Rotimi Adewuyi reports that a breakdown of the bill shows that 150 billion naira is for personnel costs, 343 billion naira is earmarked for overhead cost, while the balance of 1.28 trillion naira is for capital projects. Senate has confirmed the appointment of 5 resident electoral commissioners submitted by President Bola Tinubu in March for the Independent National Electoral Commission. The confirmation followed the receipt and consideration of a report by the chairman of Senate Committee on Electoral Matters during plenary on Wednesday. Presenting the report on behalf of the committee, Senator Simon Lalong urged the Senate to confirm the nomination of 5 individuals as resident electoral commissioners for the Independent National Electoral Commission, having passed the screening exercise. The approved RECs are Umar Yusuf Garba, Kano State; Said Umar Idris, Bauchi State; Chukwemeka C. Ibeziako, Anambra State; Umar Mokhtar, Borno State; and Dr. Johnson Alalibo, Sinikem, Bayelsa State. Tinubu had on Monday sworn in two newly appointed INEC commissioners. Federal government has restated its readiness to collaborate with the National Assembly, the media and other critical stakeholders in the ongoing review of the Cybercrime Act. This was disclosed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, while speaking to journalists in Abuja following a meeting with the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Richard Mills. According to a statement issued by Rabiu Ibrahim, Special Assistant Media to the Minister, the engagement, which held at the Minister's office, centered on democratic freedoms, press rights, and the evolving digital regulatory framework in Nigeria. Idris reaffirmed the Tinubu administration's commitment to upholding freedom of expression and press freedom, describing both as essential pillars of Nigeria's democracy. While emphasizing government support for a free press, the minister also urged journalists to remain guided by national interest and responsible reporting. In his remarks, U.S. Ambassador Richard Mills described the discussions as productive and praised the minister for his express commitment to protecting press freedom, particularly in light of the upcoming review of the Cybercrime Act. Federal government has announced the creation of a high-level committee to streamline and standardize fee payment processes across the country's tertiary institutions. This is the bid to improve the financial operations between Nigerian universities and the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, made the announcement in Abuja on Wednesday after a closed-door meeting with Vice Chancellors of universities and NERFund management. Addressing the media after the meeting, Alausa emphasized that while universities have been receiving funds on time, there is a critical need to improve the timeliness and processes involved in the disbursement and notification systems. He explained that there was no fraud in NERFund as speculated by the Independent Corrupt Practices and other related offences commission. He added that the major decision made during the meeting was the formation of a committee with representatives from NERFund, the Ministry of Education, the National Universities Commission, and key university officials. He said the committee would be tasked with standardization of fee nomenclature. According to him, to ensure transparency, all universities will adopt uniform terminology for student fees when asked why there are discrepancies in the students' fees and to what NERFund pays. Alausa explained that the difference was in the service charge, which varies from institution. Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has recorded 717 confirmed Lassa fever cases out of 4,881 suspected cases from January to May 4, 2025 in 18 states across 93 local government areas. This was disclosed in the latest situation report by the NCDC on its website on Wednesday. So far, the country has recorded 138 deaths with a case fatality rate of 19.3%. The states with reported death cases are Ondo 27, Bauchi 15, Edo 19, Taraba 34, Ebonyi 11, Kogi 4, Gombe 7, Plateau 5, Benue 5, Nasarawa 4, Kaduna 2, Enugu 1, Delta 2, Cross River 1, and Ogun 1. Lassa fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic fever caused by the Lassa virus. The natural reservoir for the virus is the multi-mammate rat, also known as the African rat, although other rodents can also act as carriers. It stated that 71% of all confirmed Lassa fever cases were reported from three states, Ondo, Bauchi, and Taraba, while 28% confirmed cases, Ondo reported 30%, Bauchi 25%, and Taraba 16%. The predominant age group affected is 21 to 30 years, range 1 to 96 years, median age 30 years, and the male to female ratio for confirmed cases is 1:0.8. Joint Admission and Matriculation Board on Wednesday finally admitted to errors which affected the performance of students during the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. The registrar of the board, Professor Ishak Oloyede, admitted to these during an ongoing press briefing in Abuja. According to him, they set all machineries in order. Regardless, there were still errors. This follows JAMB admission that it had received an unusually high number of complaints regarding discrepancies in candidate scores. This came after reports of poor performances in the recently concluded UTME. The board had promised that if any glitches are identified, appropriate remedial measures will be implemented promptly. The UTME is a critical prerequisite for admission into tertiary institutions in Nigeria. It tests candidates in 4 subjects, including the compulsory use of English, with the other 3 drawn from their proposed field of study. The 2025 UTME results saw 78% of candidates score less than 200 of the 400 maximum obtainable points. National Identity Management Commission said it has received 120 and 40 million national identity number enrollments for citizens and legal residents. This comes as the Commission explained why it recently reviewed its service price framework. The Director General of NIMC, Engineer Abisoye Koka Odusote, spoke at a press conference on Wednesday. According to her, NIMC has continued to expand its infrastructure capacity to serve Nigerians better in the last 24 months. Abisoye Koka said the Commission has reduced corruption in the agency by 40%. On its recent price review, she noted that charges for modifications of data were increased while verifications were decreased. Recall that on 1st May 2025, NIMC announced a review of its service prices. Accordingly, the Commission hiked date of birthday corrections fee to 28,574 naira from 16,340 naira. Similarly, NIMC increased its NIN retrieval service on unstructured supplementary service data to 50 naira from 20 naira. Management and staff of the People's Democratic Party have thrown their weight behind the PDP Governors Forum and the National Working Committee in recognizing Deputy National Secretary Architect Sotonji Koshoede as the acting National Secretary. At a press conference in Abuja on Wednesday, PDP's Director of Administration Gurama Bawa, on behalf of the 83 staff, voiced concern over ongoing leadership issues, especially regarding the National Secretary role. The PDP has faced internal turmoil since the 2023 elections, escalating in December 2024 when the lower court named former National Youth Leader Sunday Ude Okoye as National Secretary. While the PDP Governors Forum, Board of Trustees and NWC accepted the ruling, Senator Samuel Ayamu challenged it at the Supreme Court, which on March 21 dismissed his removal, stating that internal party matters are not for courts to decide. Bawa, joined by about 83 other PDP staff, expressed their strong desire and concern to see the issues resolved promptly. The PDP staff also had urged acting National Chairman Omar Damagum to take all necessary measures to ensure the NEC meeting holds as planned. They emphasized that the meeting is crucial for addressing key issues and reinforcing the party's core values of unity, discipline, loyalty, and adherence to its constitution. The PDP management staff acknowledged and valued Senator Anyanwu's contributions to the party's growth and success. Nigeria Safety Investigative Bureau has responded to the report by the United States National Transportation Safety Board detailing the cause of the helicopter crash that claimed the life of the former Group Chief Executive Officer of Access Holdings PLC, Herbert Wigwe, alongside his son, his wife, and 3 others. The NSIB, in a statement signed by its Director of Public Affairs and Family Assistance, Mrs. Bimbo Oladeji, sent to newsmen today, Wednesday, deferred with the NTSB's submission, which prominently blamed the pilot of the ill-fated helicopter, insisting that the captain alone shouldn't be blamed for the unfortunate incident, rather the system that should have mitigated the situation. NSIB is the multimodal transport agency in Nigeria that is responsible for promoting transport safety and conducting objective and thorough investigations into transparent accidents. Similarly, the NTSB is the counterpart agency in the United States charged with fulfilling the same function as the NSIB. More than a week ago, the NTSB in its final report cited pilot disorientation and a violation of flight protocols, especially the decision to proceed under visual flight rules in instrument meteorological conditions as key causes of the crash. While countering the NTSB report, the NSIB also debunked claims that it jointly investigated the matter with the American Transport Board, adding that it was only updated with the process. Indigenous people of Biafra has denied any involvement in the murder of a former presidential aide and a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Ahmed Gulak. In a statement issued by IPOP's Media and Publicity Secretary, Comrade Ima Powerful, the group rejected claims linking the Biafra group to Gulak's death. Reacting to the claims, Powerful said Gulak was murdered on Sunday, May 30, 2021, while the sit-at-home observance declared for the annual May 30th Remembrance Day in 2021 was held on Monday, May 31st. While dismissing the claims as false and misleading, the IPOP spokesperson said the APC chieftain was killed in Owerri, the Imo State capital, a full day before the IPOP observance. IPOB also addressed the recent introduction of Gulak's death certificate during the ongoing trial of its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. According to the group, the certificate has no relevance to the context of the trial. The group called for transparency in reporting and demanded that the full transcript of court proceedings be reviewed before spreading unverified claims. And now to some business news. House of Representatives has urged the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Nigeria Customs Service to provide a detailed explanation of the methodology and criteria used in determining the 2% import surcharge remittance. The Green Chamber also called for the publication of a transparent framework for calculating and implementing the surcharge in line with the provisions of the Raw Materials Research and Development Council Act 2022. The House further directed the Federal Ministry of Finance to ensure the accurate calculation and immediate remittance of all outstanding areas of the 2% import surcharge to the RMRDC. These resolutions follow the adoption of a motion during plenary by Honorable Aliyu Abdullahi Kaduna. Honorable Abdullahi expressed concern over persistent irregularities in the calculation and remittance of the surcharge to the RMRDC, noting that at present, the council is being paid a negligible amount of about 0.05% with undefined sources, while warning that the lack of transparency and accountability in the remittance process undermines the intent and provisions of Section 12, Paragraph 1B of the RMRDC Act.
The Raw Materials Research and Development Council, RMRDC, was established in 1987 under the Science and Technology Act, CAPR3 LFN 2004, to reduce Nigerians' dependence on imported raw materials. Also notes that its primary mission was to promote research, development, and utilization of locally available raw materials to stimulate industrial growth and economic diversification. Aware that the RMRDC Act was repealed and enacted in 2022, with the import surcharge increased from 1% to 2% to adequately fund the Council's operations and mandate. Further aware that the Nigerian Customs Service, the Federal Ministry of Finance, and the Budget Office are responsible for ensuring the accurate collection, remittance, and budgeting of the 2% surcharge to enable the Council to plan and execute its statutory obligation effectively. Concerned that there are persistent irregularities and a lack of clarity in the calculation of the remittance of the 2% import surcharge to RMRDC. Further concerned that presently the Raw Materials Research and Development Council is being paid a negligible amount of about 0.05%, of which sources cannot be defined, and lack of transparency and accountability in the remittance process contravenes the intent and provision of Section 121B of the RMRDC Act 2022.
In related development, the House has directed the Federal Ministry of Health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, as well as the National Primary Health Care Development Agency to enforce mandatory diphtheria immunization, testing and treatment in healthcare facilities across all 774 local government areas of the country. It further tasked the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation to intensify public sensitization campaigns on the dangers, symptoms, and modes of transmission of diphtheria in a bid to curb its spread and prevent further fatalities. This followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Honorable Bitrus Lauri Adamawa, who lamented that diphtheria continues to thrive in Africa due to low vaccination coverage. He observed that the disease remains virtually absent in countries such as the United States and those in Europe, where vaccination rates are higher, stressing that diphtheria primarily threatens unvaccinated individuals, especially those who travel internationally or come in contact with infected persons.
Alarmed that from May 2022 to February 2025, Nigeria has reported 41,978 suspected cases of diphtheria from Bauchi, Borno, Jigawa, Kaduna, Katsina, with Kano and Yobe states accounting for the highest number, 24,062 and 5,330 respectively. Most cases were within the ages of 1 to 14, and only 19.7% were fully vaccinated, resulting in 1,000 279 deaths within this period. Alarmed that from May 2022 to February 2025, Nigeria has reported 41,978 suspected cases of diphtheria from Bauchi, Borno, Jigawa, Kaduna, Katsina, with Kano and Yobe states accounting for the highest number, 24,062 and 5,330 respectively. Most cases were within the ages of 1 to 14, and only 19.7% were fully vaccinated, resulting in 1,279 deaths within this period.
The House of Representatives has passed bills to amend the North Central, South-South, South-East and South-West Development Commission Act 2025.
The Housing Committee of the Whole considered a report on a bill for an act to amend the North Central Development Commission Act 2025 and for related matters and approved clauses 1 to 4, explanatory memorandum and the long title of the bill. Most distinguished colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered a report on a bill for an act to amend the South-South Development Commission Act 2025 and for related matters and approved clauses 1 to 4, explanatory memorandum and the long title of the bill. It is the Chairman's report that the House and Committee of the Whole considered a report of the Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education on the bill for an act to amend the Polytechnics Act, Cap F17, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Federal Institute of Technical and Vocational Education in Meko, Ogun State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in technical education and vocational education and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 35, explanatory memorandum and the long title of the bill. Finally, it is the Chairman's report that the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education on the bill for an act to establish Federal Vocational and Skills Acquisition College, Yakamba, Kano State, to provide for research, teaching, instruction, and training on vocational and skills acquisition and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 22, the schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill.
And now, entertainment news. Award-winning novelist Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has been announced as the headliner of the 2025 Things Fall Apart Festival, a week-long celebration of Chinua Achebe's literary legacy. The Center for Memories, organizers of the festival, in an Instagram post on Tuesday, said the festival will take place from June 29 to July 5, 2025 at the Center for Memories in Enugu. The statement added that Adichie will reflect on storytelling, cultural rootedness, and the timeliness dialogue between history and identity. Organizers said the festival will feature dramatic performances, tech-driven storytelling, art exhibitions, film screenings, memory walks, youth programs, and a reimagined Umuofia village experience. And essay competition and saloon-style conversations are also scheduled to be held throughout the week. Popular Nigerian writer and influencer Solomon Buchi disagrees with singer Falz remarks about fornication. ATN reports that Falz, in a post on X, claimed that fornication is not a sin, a statement that angered religious users and continues to spark discussions online. Disagreeing with the singer in the comments section, Buchi said, "You're wrong." While noting that the Bible is right, the influencer stated that getting married is more honorable than being involved in fornication and adultery. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at our major stories. Navy dismantles 9 illegal refining sites in Rivers. JAMB admits to errors in 2025 UTME. Tinubu approves establishment of forest guards. CBN launches non-resident BVN for Nigerians in diaspora. Mali military junta dissolves political parties when Western move to sign Oyindika from Club Brugge. And Chimamanda to headline 2025 Things Fall Apart Festival. I am Fable Chigwesri Michael. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms. On Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. And don't forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do have a pleasant night rest.